This is where the fun begins.
Someone asked me to give the best reason why someone should read the Expanded Universe. After giving it a lot of thought, here's what I have to say. The Expanded Universe respects the reader. In the Expanded Universe, Luke Skywalker's optimism continues where it left off in Return of the Jedi. He's fulfilled hope to the galaxy just like Obi-Wan said he would, not like the Disney movies where he gave up on the Jedi or even the whole galaxy for that matter. The character you see in those movies is not Luke. Luke isn't a quitter. He's not a pessimist. He's a leader. He's inspirational. And he's always there for his friends in times of need. Another character is Han Solo. He's introduced to us in A New Hope as a loner, a man who cares only for himself and nobody else. But by the end of Return of the Jedi, that all turns around when he finally finds friends he can trust and a true love to spend the rest of his life with. And that's exactly what he does in the Expanded Universe. Han is a devoted husband and father to Leia and their kids. He loves his family above all else. In the new movies, Han turns out to be a selfish deadbeat dad who ran out on his family when things get tough. It's a complete 180 from the character that we saw from Return of the Jedi. Now, another thing the EU does is it rewards its readers. Attention to detail when it comes to continuity has never been done at such a level as when it was performed by the Expanded Universe. Avid readers will constantly be rewarded for their diligence as comics, novels, video games, and even children's books share connections throughout the entire series, making it almost a flawless, continuous story. And though it has its minor flaws, it's still the best overall story in continuity out there, period. That's what the EU does. It respects and rewards its readers. And that's the best reason you should give it a try. Long live the Expanded Universe.
And I've always leaned towards if we're going to create something, we should check and see if it existed already to the fans, because it has way more value if we bring that in. And It's like, why would I just replace it with something new? So if we're going to do an admiral, if we're going to do a big military leader, yeah, I could create a new guy, sure. But what about Thrawn? Thrawn is great. Thrawn is a character we all know. Thrawn has a lot of credibility. So then you ask yourself, is it right to use him? And can we use him in a way that's similar to the books? Or are we using him and it's going to go completely into left field? And there have been times when we wanted to use things from the EU and I was like, yeah, but we can't use it that way. So why? I don't want to use it and change it. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want to use it and make it something completely different. That's rude.
Are you sure? So be it.
Why, hello, everyone, and welcome. This is going to be a CAF chat briefing. So we're going to go under an hour because I have to hit the road to go back home. I am visiting at my daughter's for Christmas, and yeah, so we got to return back to our house and everything. So, and it's about a 5-6 hour drive or so. But before we get started, what's in your mug? Look at this. If you don't follow me on Twitter, this is what I got for Christmas. Look at this mug. Awesome. So how are you guys doing and how was your Christmas? How is everything going for you? Merry Christmas, happy holidays. Yeah, we're pushing on through to the New Year's. That's friggin' crazy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I felt like this month went by quick. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it felt like it went quick. Yeah, let's see who's in the chat. First of all, so this is going to be about an hour or under an hour. So the topics are going to remain relatively the same, but we are not going to do cringe factor. So we'll, I'll chat with you guys in the chat, see what's going on, chat a little bit about Star Wars. We have Book of the Week. We have Lucas Facts, which I'm going to bring up here pretty soon. And we're going to talk about the coming year, New Year, New Jedi Order, where we're going to begin talking more and more about the New Jedi Order. I am finishing up book 4 of the New Jedi Order. So I'm very excited about that. Moving on to the next one, meaning I have 10 more books or 9 more books to go. Oh my God, but it's so exciting to reread these and pick up on things that maybe little nuances or things that I missed or I didn't really pay attention much to. It's very interesting rereading a series, a new book, or not a new book, rereading a book that you put down and haven't read it in a while, because it's another time of discovery, right? It's another time of discovering something that maybe you missed or passed over or didn't really look into when it comes continuity wise and stuff like that. So I'm excited about that. So let's see who's in the chat today. Good morning and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everyone. Rodimus Prime in here, hanging out, waiting for the show to start. Hey, OG, how are you doing? Anakin Batsy, morning. Happy Wookiees Life Day. And then Mike Casillas is here. Hope you had a great Christmas. I sure did. Most of my family was scattered. And my youngest daughter went to the Midwest. My son stayed home and watched over the animals for us. And then we came down here to my daughter's. All in all, great time. We got to FaceTime. We got to talk. We got to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Our families are big between me and my husband and stuff. So, all right, let's see here. And I personally enjoy seeing Jake Skywalker in The Last Jedi because I hate Mark Hamill. Excuse me, what? Oh, because of the things that he's recently said and has been saying. He sure didn't like the character, but he sure acting like one. Well, I don't know. I ain't gonna get too much into that. It's too much for me. It's too much to talk about. One day we'll sit down and talk about the dynamics of Luke Skywalker and the actor behind Luke Skywalker. And Big Geek is here. To see Jason so young, right? I know. And Dilly Squad, oh my gosh, I already lost almost 3 minutes of cat chat. Oh my God, well, you're here now and that's okay. You're fine. We're fine. It's all good. And then still pisses we never got the sword, or pissed we still never got Sword of the Jedi. I know that was set up so well in Legacy of the Force. And also between Legacy and Fate of the Jedi, it was set up really, really well for her to be, I guess you could say, one of the leading protagonists, I guess you could say. And let's see, why introduce something new when we can ruin other people's work, right? Let's see here. Yes, we did miss you. I know. Sorry about last week. It just wasn't going to happen. I'm drinking cold water. My Christmas was all right. Well, I'm glad it was all right. At least you got through it and you're here with us. Skeleton Crew is Disney's way of rip off One Piece. You know what? I haven't even been paying attention to the last installment of the Skeleton Crew. I can care less. Let's see here. My Christmas was quick, but also painful. I don't want to know. And then got a whiskey sour. Ooh, okay. All right. Still on vacay. Holiday vacation, maybe. No cringe factor. That's what I call Christmas miracle. Ooh, I know. Cringe factor will resume next week. So stay tuned for that. In my country, Christmas ends and Three Kings Day, aka the first week of New Year. Oh, okay. And then $10 super chat. Thank you so much, MB Geek. Still wish we got Sword of the Jedi trilogy. I wanted so much Jedi Master Jaina Solo fell. I also wanted to see her create the Imperial Knights. And see, that's the thing. would she have created it during that time frame, or would it be a little bit further along the timeline? See, we will never know. My guess is this will be the setup of her her destiny as sort of the Jedi, whatever that is. And then I think that the setup for the Imperial Knights would be a little bit later. Sad that we can't get that development. I think that, not all of that story is going to be in that trilogy that was being created. But I think it would be a huge setup for what's to come. And you know how they're good at setting things up. So we won't see that, but that's just my predictions with that. I wish I knew more, but thank you so much for the $10 super chat. You are amazing. Thank you so much. OG, I made my first proper YouTube video where I share my Star Wars movie collection, and I'm thinking about sharing my EU books. Do it. You know what? I don't see Soul Assassin here yet. He knows we have CAF chat, but I know he gets busy. So I'll have him share your link out, and so people can go subscribe. But that's amazing. Do it. Share your EU books. Get it out there. That's all I want, is people to be like, you know what? Because we all have our different reviews, takes, experiences with the EU, and everybody is valuable to all of this, and keeping George Lucas's era of Star Wars together and in front of people. So do it. Dormat says, at OG Star Wars, does your tribe celebrate Christmas? Yes, we do. Due to, I'm going to say, assimilation and forcing our, like my grandma was a residential school survivor, I guess you could say. So we do have that influence. A lot of people, not a lot, but there are people that have chose on their own to go along the religious faction of Christianity or being a Catholic or whatever. So yeah, we celebrate in a sense of just gathering together, giving gifts and all of that. So yeah, so it's and let me see, I didn't finish reading that. See, or do you see it as a white man's holiday? Just kidding. Merry Christmas. No, I get it. No, I don't care about, I love humor. So I don't care if you put on some humor like that and stuff like that. I love humor. So I don't get offended too quickly, but I will sometimes come back at sharp words if I feel that it's getting too extreme or whatever. So yeah, so we do celebrate, whether it is religious wise or it is just to gather and eat and feast together. Another excuse to get together and give gifts and stuff, I guess you could say. During this time of year, for my people, both Lakota and then our Dakota people, there's a lot of heartache that still is going on with the massacre at Wounded Knee and the Dakota 38+2. So right, today is the Kiksuyapi, the remembering of the Dakota 38 hanging by Lincoln. So that's going on today, both within Indian country for the Dakota people. Okay, so a little history there. Coronado says, oh, that skipped on me quickly. There we go. Mark Hamill suffers from the Jacony. And let's see here. Are the T47 and the LAT regular models or Legos? You know what? I never looked into that. Anybody who knows, because I don't know. Which I'm being honest about, because, I don't know everything. People think I know every single thing about Star Wars. There's still some stuff I'm learning. My weak area is the gaming part of the Old Republic and some of the Old Republic lore. So that's my weakest part there. My strength is PT on out, or even some before the PT. Like I said, I know the storylines and characters and stuff for the Old Republic, but that's not my strength, which it's fine. It's for me, an area for me to have fun and discover more that I didn't know about. And that's what's great about Star Wars. Either you reread or there's an area in the lore timeline that you're weak at. You can go there and start exploring and learning, and you're learning something new for yourself. It's always a gift that keeps on giving. When you reread, you're rediscovering something that maybe you missed over or that you didn't put too much thought or you didn't catch. It's a beautiful thing. Mike says, only fun with Skeleton Crew I'm having is trolling shills during the watch parties. Yeah, I think a lot of people are. That's like Star Triggered, Gatekeepers Alliance, all of that. We're having fun. We're having more fun watching and making fun of the shills than they are watching the show. I don't know. It's kind of funny that way. But anyways, share what? Let me see here. Hello there, Vato. Rodimus Prime's link. He says, OG, I made my first proper YouTube video where I share my Star Wars movie collection, and I'm thinking about sharing the EU books. So if you want to share his link out so people can subscribe. Oh, you got it. You got it. There we go. If I would just scroll down a little bit more. All humans. Yes, we're all humans with unique origins and stuff like that, and culture and everything like that. That's also what makes us distinctively different as well. So yeah. But learning to, even if we agree to disagree on some things, learning to have that sort of respect and stuff, I guess, is something that we as humans need to overcome. There's still a lot of things I disagree with people about, and I am really adamant about, and that's including some things about Star Wars, So, I mean, if they are Lego models, they are built with tiny Lego bricks. I know what they are. Lego models are. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. That one I was like, what? I don't know. Let me see. Why can't I put S's at the Pearl Worlds tonight? I don't know. I have no idea. Did Lee Squat? I don't know. All right. Okay, let's see. I'm in the Midwest America. Cool. Nice. I am a native Illinoisian. I have been to 35 states and 3 countries. Oh, that's amazing. I've only been to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. I've been to Canada, Mexico, Greenland or Iceland or whatever, Turkey, and Italy. So 5 countries, whether short or long visits, and then of course most of the western United States on the west side of Mississippi, and then few on the east side of Mississippi. So there we go. That's just at the top of my head. All right, you guys. So let's get into Lucas Fact. Like I said, this is going to be a show that is CAF Chat Briefing is just a short show. I do them far and few in between. So let's get into our Lucas Fact first. So let's go ahead. So if you guys need to refresh your drinks, I mean, we only been here for a short amount of time, feel free to do that. We have new control buttons on the side for our studio here, and I'm getting used to it. One says media assets and one says style. They used to be all under another button. So this is kind of weird, but inviting as well, because then I can say, okay, if I need to change the color of, of my, name title, I can do that and stuff. So let's see here. Lucas Facts. Let's see. I did create a new button for that, but then I keep on forgetting to use it, but I'm going to use it right now just because.
That's great.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
All right. So here you go. This is Lucas Facts, and it's very interesting. I have so many sources regarding George Lucas in my library, and it's always a great read to go into and research not only George himself, but also get Lucas Facts and stuff like that. January 1st, 1976, George Lucas completes a 4th draft of The Adventures of Luke Skywalker as taken from the Journal of the Whills of Saga 1, The Star Wars. The draft includes additional backstory for Darth Vader, including his connection to Ben Kenobi and Luke's father. This backstory between Vader and Kenobi included a duel between the two, which ends with Vader falling into the volcanic pit, necessitating I kind of like just went on with the special suit and breathing mask. The additional Sith Lords that were seen in previous drafts were cut from the story. Interesting, right? As well as the kyber crystals. The parts of the story that took place in the Alderaan prison now take place on the Death Star itself. Quote unquote, the force of others, quote unquote, became the more simple, quote unquote, the force. So this is from the timeline, the making of Star Wars. So this is 1976. This is the fourth draft that he came up with. And it's all under like his main title has always been, and he's always been wanting to explore the Journal of the Whills. And I guess you could say the saga one of that is the Star Wars, which is very interesting. But what is more interesting is we not only know that, he changed his mind about the direction of Luke's father, going into Empire Strikes Back. We also know that Anakin, the father in the duel, so this is Vader here, but we know that Anakin, who is Vader now, so he kind of went back and said, okay, so I'm making Vader Luke's father, Anakin. So he still adhered to his story about them dueling basically on Mustafar, and Anakin basically, he didn't fully fall into the pit, right? We know that, he got caught on fire from nearly going into the pit. But still, the story still remains consistent with some changes. We know that story does change to fit what is being developed and stuff like that. And then additional Sith Lords were put in there and taken out, and then even that we knew about the Kyber crystal. How many of you guys knew about the Sith Lords? So this is Lucas Facts here in early development. Hello, Star Wars Scran. How are you doing? Let's see here. Plural of Sith. Yeah. What does the Whills look like? Well, the Whills are basically little symbiotic creatures that live within, you could say, the mitochondria of a species' bodies that helps them harness the Force. So, but there's a whole story behind that maybe we'll bring up for CAF chat sometime in the future. Who knows when that will happen? There's so much that's going to happen for this year. I'm excited. So we all know about kyber crystals. But did you guys also know that the prison was going to be on Alderaan, where they take Leia? But then again, it turned and he made it the Death Star. And then, of course, the name of the Force of others became the Force. So these are some interesting Lucas facts of development of Star Wars, the very first installment, which was called Star Wars. It was never called A New Hope until he had ideas already. And I need to share that Lucas fact here soon. But he had idea of making them episodes, and the titling of them came between Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, I believe. I have to pull that up as a Lucas fact so I can get that straight for you guys. Maybe that'll come within the this next month in January. So very interesting, right? Very, very interesting. Let's see here. Yes, I remember that quote. I read it before the prequel, and I was a bit confused on the volcanic pit part. I was like, how the heck does he get out of the pit of lava, right? So I think it was well done how Lucas did it for the PT. It's more or less like him sliding down and touching the edge of the lava and it catching him on fire and stuff. So, which we then also know that, his appendages, his limbs and stuff are all cut off as well. So, and then of course, one was already removed from, when he fought Dooku. So, man, Anakin's been through a lot. He has been through a lot. So this is an interesting Lucas fact. This will be on my Twitter, and I will put it on the community page here in YouTube, so you guys can have it in both areas. So if you don't follow me on Twitter and don't want to be on Twitter, you can get the information here on YouTube on my community page. I respect people who don't want to have anything to do with social media, and that's fine. Let's see here. And Star Wars Scran had someone in his chat of one of his videos, his latest one, who is a Denning hater saying Troy Denning, get this, you guys, Troy Denning is worse than Filoni. Yeah. I went in there and said a few things. So who knows if that guy's going to respond back to me. But yeah, Troy Denning is worse than Dave Filoni when it comes to retconning and changing characters. Woo-wee, that was crazy when I'm like, where the fuck did you get that from? Yeah, so there you go. So let me go ahead and remove this clip, this here. All right. So yeah, you heard that here. Poor Scrat. I'm sure he doesn't mind. So I brought this with me. This new year, I didn't put together the heroes leading into New Jedi Order like I did the villains, because I knew that I was making this a short stream. So, but I still wanted to talk about leading into New Jedi Order and New Year, New Jedi Order. So we'll be like the first, when it is, the second is the Thursday, right? Yeah. The 2nd of January is a Thursday. So that's CAF chat. Yes. So what I will be doing is we'll be talking about an introduction to New Jedi Order, getting into some behind the scenes conversations about that, and getting you guys set up and poised for New Jedi Order. So if some of you guys are not reading it and want to begin to read it as we begin the new year, feel free to join us. I'm currently finishing up the 4th book of the series, so I'm not even like a third way through yet, or maybe I'm getting there. But this is also encouragement, again, to put in front of you guys and the world, George Lucas era of Star Wars, and also a new line of story. It's still part of the history, but we have new villains, new threats, how the Jedi versus the New Republic turning into the Galactic Alliance is going to handle that. So much depth and story here, how characters are not safe from these threats. This is a dark story. So don't go in there thinking it does have a quote unquote happy ending, I guess you could say, in a sense. But the story leads, this is not where the EU ends. Not like Lucino thought it was going to. Lucino was very mistaken about that, and he admits it, that he thought that the EU was going to end with the New Jedi Order, that timeline there, and it wasn't. So he made it a very open-ended type story. He made the stories not him, but the team, the writers who wrote through the books, including Troy Denning. There's so many ways each character could be taken after the series ended, and that we see what the decision was for Lucasfilm when it came to Jason, Luke, Mara, Anakin, all of that after the New Jedi Order, which was very, very interesting, even for Jaina and everybody that was affected by this big war. No one got out of there unscathed. If you read this and you thought Jason was going to come out as this mighty, majestic Force user because, he was questioning the Force, he didn't want to be a Jedi, he wanted to go in sabbatical because he had so much questions about himself, about the Force and stuff like that. He was tortured and all this other stuff. If you think that he was going to come out of there unscathed, you're wrong. You're seriously wrong. So let me see what you guys are talking about here. Whoops. The missing 80 years before Legacy Comics is worth exploring. Guys, I am actually the one suffering here. I got to do research that's not part of the Old Republic, so I'm lost. Yes, see, that's the thing. And I was admitting that the Old Republic is my weak spot. Like, I'm still discovering things that I know the basic stories, I know the characters, but I'm still discovering. And this is where I'm comfortable at, is post Return of the Jedi era. And so we're flipping sides. Usually I'm coming to Soul Assassin like, okay, this is what I'm going to talk about when it comes to Old Republic, and getting some information from him as well. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? And now he is where I'm at, and probably a little bit more worse because he hasn't really fully read within the Return or post Return of the Jedi era. So yes. Bet in the wrong twin. Bet in the wrong twin with Jason. Let's see here. And here's our Audible books. In Lucasfilm, white men are discriminated because of their lack of pigment. That's funny. Short stream, yeah, full of information. Correct. What? Someone worse than Filoni? So it can always get worse, huh? It's weird to see an EU channel putting Filoni above established lore. Right. It's like, and then that guy, okay, I'm going to go into that because I'm going to go into one of the comments that I seen that guy in Scran's chat put. He was saying at least Filoni didn't change the story or the characters like Denning did. And I'm paraphrasing what he said because he said a lot more on that. And then I was like, are you serious? What about Quinlan Voss? What about Varys Offee? She was not only changed in her age, she was made a Padawan again, and she was completely out of character. Yet Filoni never changed characters and never changed stories. What? But Denning did. And Denning, with the New Jedi Order, Denning contributed to New Jedi Order, I think one book, Star by Star, which is one of the most phenomenal books within the timeline. And it's in the smack in the middle of that, right? And then he did Darkness Trilogy, but he wasn't the only contributor to Legacy Era. So Legacy of the Force and Fate of the Jedi. There was Aaron Alston, and we had Karen Travis, and then we had what's her name Golden. Her last name's Golden. I can't think of her first name, but anyways, so this guy was calling it Denning verse because he's making it sound like Troy wrote every single installment within the Legacy era before the comics. And that he's the only one that made changes or quote unquote changes to Jason and everything else, that he retconned the New Jedi Order. It's all his fault. Forgetting to realize that, like in here, and I shared this with Scran, this goes into exactly what Lucasfilm Books and the company wanted for everything after the New Jedi Order. So it wasn't necessarily Denning. There's other contributors. There's other factors. However, like I said, with the New Jedi Order, there's so many open-ended storylines in there, like where it can take the characters in so many different directions. Like we never got the story of Jason's sabbatical. So Fate of the Jedi gives us his arc, the arc discovery, what Luke discovered. And just like the Jedi warn on using different force abilities, especially the one on the dark side, can really influence your path, right? Well, that's exactly what was going on with Jason. There's other force societies that use dark side of the force. They didn't call it the dark side, but it was basically dark side force use. And Jason used that, and then he learned stuff that allowed him to manipulate and change things. And he used that for his advantage. And so we have all that. Now, I wish we could have got his storyline of his sabbatical, what he learned, what happened to him during that time. That's one story that was very vague that the authors can take in so many different directions. Another direction that was vague, or that was set up where they could have kept him on the light side, or they could have, continued with his dark side, which they did, is his torture from the Vong, his manipulation from Bergère. She was a twisted character in the New Jedi Order storyline. She acted very twisted, manipulative. She allowed him to get tortured. She was right there during the torture. There's nothing light side about her. Nothing light side about her. And she even gave the coordinates to the Vong to take over Coruscant. So she was really a Jedi. She was bad at it. Bad at it. So there was nothing more like, there was nothing of new philosophy from Bergère or anything like that. She was very twisted. Jim the Despot, what's up? Oh boy, next year is going to be great. Going to start out my next Star Wars What If story. Going to show how Grievous managed to not become Grievous and convince the Republic that the Husks are evil. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. On the Barris Offie change. Yikes, right? I know. Christy Golden, there we go. Thank you. And let's see here. The Clone Wars is only a tie-in Revenge of the Sith, not a cartoon show that destroys the EU like the virus from 2020. Let's see here. Let me see. Now I'm going through the thing here. Okay, let's get into Lucas Books. Not Lucas Books, that's the company. But let's get into Book of the Week, you guys, because we're going to start wrapping up here pretty soon because I got to go have breakfast at my daughter's work, and then we're going to hit the road. So, again, it's going to be lit for 2025 with New Jedi Order, New Year, New Jedi Order. I can't wait. It's going to be so friggin' amazing. So with that being said, let's get into our book.
I hate to say it, but it looks like the item you're searching for doesn't exist.
Impossible. Perhaps the archives are incomplete.
If an item does not appear in our records, it does not exist.
All right, and here you go. Here is the Book of the Week, going all the way back to the Old Republic. Okay, chat. Okay, this caught my attention. Chat, take a vote. Is OG a pancake or a waffle kind of person? All right. So going back to the Old Republic, Revan, author Drew Karpyshyn, cover artist Lucas Arts, because this came from the game. Hardcover November 2011, paperback 2012. Now, another reason why I decided to have this as a book of the week is just to kind of steer away from the timeline where we're at right now discussing, and that's, post Return of the Jedi, New Jedi Order era. And but also some people were trying to link Revan to the Skeleton Crew. So that's been something that people were mentioning that are watching these Disney shows that are watching. I think it was not this episode, but the episode beforehand. And they were linking like the 1,000 years of 1,000 years or 100 years or 1,000 years of sleep. They're trying to link that to Revan or something like that. And so I was like, you know what? And I was chatting with Soul Assassin, and I was like, I want to do Old Republic. What book did I use already? And I named the book, and he was like, let's do Revan, whatever. So we got Revan here. Here are the continuity notes, because I like to use continuity notes for you guys, whether good or bad. And I know people there's a mixed bag with the book versus the game. But here we go. In 2003 video game, Revan was a customizable character. Once the era and story advanced, Revan's true identity was revealed. The novel canonically defines his appearance, history, and personality. This also is true for Jedi Exile, who is identified as Mitra Styric in the novel. So there you go. There's a lot of people that are are trying to use this. If Revan is put in the Disney Star Wars lore, then they can possibly make him female because that was never a thing for him. There was never a gender, blah, blah, blah. But I went further than this before. Even as they were developing the character for the game, they already had an idea that he was going to be a man, not a female. But they kept that under wraps, I guess you can say. My research, and I shared this about a year ago when there was this big, huge debate about Revan and his gender and who he was at the time. And so Drew Carpathian already knew exactly who this character was going to be, even back in 2003. However, they kept that away from the audience so that they could have fun creating and customizing their own character. And once the book came out, then that solidified exactly who he was, because you could play the game and it shares who the canon character is. And and who it is not. So I thought that was interesting. So don't speak the dude's name. He speaks nonsense and lies. But that I thought that this would be an interesting book to bring up, since some people in the Disney shillverse, I guess you could say, were trying to link Skeleton Crew to Revan. Like they were making a callback to Revan. Are they going to put Revan in the story? Whatever. And so I thought I'd bring this out as book of the week. If you haven't had a chance to read it, pick it up. However, I'm encouraging you guys to follow along with the New Jedi Order. If you guys haven't began reading that, begin on the first and follow along. If you guys, however, if you want to pick it up now, I can't exactly control you, I guess you can say. Like people think that I could control people's like of Star Wars and dislike of Star Wars and stuff like that, which is kind of funny. I got that yesterday, that I am telling people what they shouldn't like, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not. I'm debating on what you know versus what you think you know, and all of that. But anyways, that's another story in itself. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. I remember Mason Awindu wanting Revan to be non-binary. Yes, I did. I think that might have been the time he decided to block me, was during that time when he was doing that. It could have been something else, but he does have me blocked. I honestly never thought of Revan as a woman. I guess I am a misogynistic. I guess so. Hashtag elitist pancakes. Is that what everybody's saying? Pancakes for me? Good thing that Remastered Couture project was canceled. It would have been horrible. Yeah, because when they title remaster instead of no, it was, yeah, would they say was it with remaster? Something like that. When they title remaster or whatever, they're not remastering it. They're they titled a remake or so. I forgot how it was. I was talking about this with Soul Assassin, but how they had it titled basically wasn't going to mean that they were remastering it. They were going to add stuff in, and that's what was being hinted during that time. So I'm glad that that was canceled. So sorry for my gibberish there, but yeah, so I'm glad they canceled it there. Revan is a body type, this body type, that. Yeah, so oh my God, I'm not looking forward to this drive home, but you guys will see me. I'll probably be posting on Twitter. Soul Assassin says they were going to change everything. I remember fans saying Revan and Bastila were a diet. Yeah, exactly. So they weren't calling it a remaster. They were calling it something else. Because remaster would have been like, oh, they were just touching it up. They were tuning everything, making the gameplay better, blah, blah, blah. IG have Revan as a man, but a perk of Revan being a woman is Karth isn't nearly as goddamn annoying. Okay. I have never had a chance to play it yet. I do have the game. Thank you, Stig. It wouldn't be an Alora stream without a bit of gibberish. I know. I do that. I admit it, and I know it entertains you guys, all of this. I'm being human, I'm being me. All right. They're linking Couture to Rise of Skywalker. I have no idea about that. But I'm glad it's canceled. So there you have it, our Lucas Facts, the book of the week, what we're leading into for the new year. I'm so excited. And you guys could still get this if you want to add this. I wish they did a part 2, but this is freaking amazing to have on your shelf for quick reference and resources on certain things, like the thud bugs and all the little tools and gadgets, biology, like biology kind of gadget that the Vong has and stuff like that. It's something that is worthwhile to have, especially when you're reading through. This goes up to star by star. It doesn't have the finished ending, the last of the books. It even has like the campaign area, all of that. Yeah, so very, very, very fun. Let's see here. Gonna be a big new year. Yes, it is. And you got a lot of reading to do, Soul Assassin. You got a lot of research to do. I'm so excited to hear what you're learning. I'm going to learn. Get your book here. Thank you. All right, you guys, I'm going to close out here. You guys, hopefully your holiday season is still going great. Merry Christmas to you, and hopefully you had a good time with family and friends. And if you didn't, I'm glad that you're here with us today. And I'm kicking back with me here. Be ready. New year, new Jedi Order. I'll catch you on Twitter on my drive home. And yeah, so talk to you guys later. I might have a spontaneous stream coming up before the New Year's. I'm going to be at a powwow for the New Year's, so the 31st to the 1st. So I'll be doing that. I'm super excited about that. And then stay tuned for Gatekeepers Alliance, some videos that I'll be producing for that channel. I am going to do a EU elitist versus anti-EU parody back and forth. It's going to be me playing both characters with the experience that I've gotten on Twitter and here on YouTube with anti-EU people. Should be fun. I got to look for that wig. I'm going to use a wig for the anti-EU person. I was even thinking about trying to find a beard and pinning my hair back like a guy. So giving you guys ideas, that's going to be fun. I think you guys are going to love it. Yeah, so I need to make elitist badges. Yes, I do. And then, oh, okay, Filipino. I am Ilocana or Ilocano. So my grandfather, one of my grandparents is Filipino, and he is Ilocano from the northern part of the Philippines, the northern islands. Yes, so you guys stay tuned for that, for Gatekeepers Alliance. And then also too, I want to do some videos on the EU rhetoric that's been going on. That's not going to be a parody thing. So stay tuned for that. And plus many other collaborative videos from everybody on the Gatekeepers Alliance, as well as live streams with us once a month. So that's coming up on the 10th, I believe, the very first one. I'm super excited for that. It's going to be fun. We're going to have fun. It's not only going to be just like shield talk and stuff. We're all going to have fun. We're going to play games. We're going to make you guys laugh. It's going to be a great hangout, but it's about the integrity of our favorite franchises like Star Wars and stuff like that. And gatekeeping, basically, if you want to call it that, that's what we are, is keeping the integrity of Star Wars and keeping true to it. So I'm just blabbering now again. So you guys have a great day, and I shall talk to you guys later. Adios.
Another happy landing.